And this make you guys to live in two different planets, but yet you are trying to build a country. For me, even as a Pan-Africanist who want Africa to be together, I can tell you that northern, southern Nigeria cannot survive. I'm sorry to tell everyone, it will not.
Hello and what's up, guys? In this video, you are about to hear a shocking truth from a Pan-Africanist who has studied Nigeria inside and out. His message: northern and southern Nigeria can never survive as one country, and the worst is yet to come. He says Nigeria's crisis didn't start today. It began the day we got independence without truly breaking free. The colonial masters simply swapped themselves for our own elites, who kept the same oppressive system in place. The police still act like colonial police, protecting the rich, suppressing the poor. Our education still carries the colonial mindset. Religion, he claims, is still used to keep the masses quiet. But then he dropped the real bombshell. The North and South are two completely different worlds. According to him, the North was colonized twice. First by the Sokoto Caliphate through an Islamic revolution, then by the British. This left the political elite in the North holding on to an extreme, outdated Islamic ideology, one that still shapes their vision for Nigeria's future. The South only want colonialism, European, and when Southerners reject it, they can still fall back to their cultures. The North has nothing else to fall back on except that same old ideology. That's why he says every major conflict in the North ends up taking an Islamic tone. His words were clear. Even as a Pan-Africanist who dreams of a united Africa, I can tell you, northern and southern Nigeria cannot survive together. And here is the part that will give you chills. He believes Nigeria is heading for a very, very serious trouble, worse than anything we are facing now. The fault line of religion and ethnicity are too deep to fix under the current system. Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
So I'm a half Nigerian, I will say, because I live in that country for more than 10 years. And I spend most part of my life there, and I have friends, family up till now in Nigeria. So if you wrote common entrance and you wrote WAEC, you should know Nigerian history, you should know the politics. And me being a Pan-Africanist, I have followed through most of the political activities in Nigeria. So that's what gave me, just to give you a background of who I am, so that I will be able to make analysis on the ongoing issues in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Please.
Yeah. So I tried learning Yoruba, but I did not. I speak Hausa perfectly, because when you live in the North, Hausa is the common language there. So next to it, because I live in the middle belt close to Kwara State, so you have Yoruba language, but the Kwara people, sometimes some of them speak Hausa as well. So my Yoruba is not good. So what I want to speak here tonight, Mayegun, the issue of Nigeria. Nigeria, I'm from Liberia, by the way. The name of my country is Liberia. And if you know Liberia, Nigeria helped us in the 90s when we had civil war in our country. Liberia was falling apart. We fought civil war, from 1999 down to 2003, and Nigerian forces helped quench the civil war in Liberia. So Nigeria was the hope of the continent, the giant of Africa, the country we all look up to and say, one day in the future, this is going to be our China. This is going to be our United States. If Nigeria succeeds, Africa succeeds. Every African, especially if you live in West Africa area, I'm not talking about regular people, but people who really analyze issue, you will know that Nigeria was the hope of the continent. But unfortunately, in the last 10 years, we've seen Nigeria going down the drain. We've seen Nigeria promising future now becoming dashed, and we've seen that it seems that there's no hope. So when people are making a lot of analysis, I come in and tell them that this is my own understanding. The problem in Nigeria is a summary of what is happening in all of African countries, which is number one, the way we got independence, the institutions that we inherited were not decolonized. It's like the colonial masters made a deal with people we call freedom fighters, and they replaced them. They just replaced the white Oyibo with our black brother who continue the colonial legacy. And I will give you an example. Your police is a typical colonial police. During the colonial era, the police was meant to protect the colonial elites. The police was there to beat up the people, subdue them, and terrorize them to protect the colonial masters. That's what the African police do now. That's what the Nigerian police does. The elite of the colonial era, they were bourgeoisie who lived in Africa, but then their real home is London. Their hospital is Paris. When the colonial masters get sick, they take them to Lisbon, they take them to Paris, they take them abroad to go to get treated in the what they call the metropole. And the Africa was the farm, was the place they work, was where is where you extract the natural resources. The London is where you go to enjoy it. Our elite are following the same pattern. The educational institutions were designed to make the colonial masters to look like saviors and tell the people who have been exploited to appear as if they are being indebted. They have to be grateful to the colonial masters for giving them education. Why that education was actually a miseducation. If you watch our education today, it followed the same pattern. The religion was created to pacify the public in order for them not to stage a revolution. The colonialists were in bed with the religious masters and said, tell the people to calm down. In fact, our traditional rulers, some of them were compromised. Those of them who refused to compromise were removed from their throne. If you compromise with the colonial system, then you remain on your throne. Today is the same thing. Our traditional leaders have to compromise with the men in Abuja. The unknown forces in Abuja, in the capital, they have to connive with them to destroy your destiny. Now, all I'm saying here is that the colonial system continues, but it has just changed face. It just have a black face on it. So I say this to tell you, when people say, let's divide Nigeria, let's break up the country, let's have a Yoruba nation, let's have a Igbo nation. As a Pan-Africanist, I'm sad because our philosophy was to create a black United States of Africa. So when we see now that a country like Nigeria cannot survive, that means that our theory has been debunked. But here is what we tell people. It doesn't matter if you divide Nigeria today into 7 countries. The same elite who are in bed with London, who are in bed with these forces in Europe, they will be the same elite who will take over this country. Example, South Sudan and Sudan. Did South Sudan become better after they broke out from Sudan? I don't think so. Many countries are breaking up in Africa after independence, but it was the same elite who were transported to the new country. The main people who wanted actual freedom were killed, were removed. Those who wanted real transformation were replaced with the bourgeoisie. Then the second thing I want to say, the forces, the internal forces that are working in African countries are against the people. If you look at Nigeria very well today, you can determine the future of Nigeria by looking at the forces that are controlling Nigeria. What are these internal forces? One, the religious group. I grew up in northern Nigeria. I went to school there. I was born a Muslim. I studied the Quran. If you have been to Niger State, Mina, if you know the institution called RET, Islamic Education Trust in Mina, controlled by Sheikh Ahmed Lemu, those are the people that brought me up. They gave me scholarship. I went to that school in New Horizons College. I graduated there. I learned the Quran. I was a Muslim until I started traveling, and I decided to put religion aside. What I saw in northern Nigeria is that these people were colonized twice. They were first colonized by the Sokoto Caliphate through the Islamic Revolution. They were still under that colonialism, then the British colonialism came. So they are not in alignment with you in the South. You don't understand. They are operating under 2 influence of colonial culture that they have inherited. One, they inherited an extreme version of Islam called Wahhabism, which even Saudi Arabia is trying to abolish and embrace modernity. This northern Nigeria inherited an archaic, outdated Islamic view that came from Baghdad and Saudi Arabia those days. They inherited it, and it is very much entrenched in their culture. They do not believe in Nigeria as long as they are not on top. As long as Islam, for them, the vision for Nigeria is for Islam to triumph. That's the understanding for them. The destiny of Nigeria must lean toward Islamic revolution. That is the elite, the agenda. I'm not talking about the ordinary people on the street. They don't know what's going on. But the elite, that was the thinking of Usman Dan Fodio. That was the thinking of Sir Amadou Bello. That was the thinking of all this elite that came up. They designed, when they took over the army, you don't understand why they influenced the army in Nigeria. Their vision is to lead what Islamic revolution. Now, for you guys in the South, you had only one colonialism, which is the European. That's why there are people, Chris, John, Johnson. When you are tired of European colonialism, you fall back to your culture. They don't have no culture to fall back to. They only have Islamic extremism to fall back to when they are angry. That's why every riot in the North take an Islamic tone. Any fight, any fighting has to take an Islamic tone. They do not have any ideology or philosophy to fight with other than Islam. And this make you guys to live in two different planets, but yet you are trying to build a country. For me, even as a Pan-Africanist who want Africa to be together, I can tell you that northern, southern Nigeria cannot survive. I'm sorry to tell everyone, it will not survive.
I want to ask, Seko, just for you to take a breath. You are indeed surprised a lot of us tonight. And when I say surprised, not because of the detailed in-depth of your own understanding of Nigeria, but the fact that we weren't expecting this long reorientation kind of. A lot of people were glued that it is actually coming from someone who is not a Nigerian. You sort of mesmerized us. And because of this, I think I chose right to end the program with you tonight, okay? So you seem to know even better. And using your own perspective now, understanding of the both world, and being a Pan-Africanist and all that, one of the things you said tonight that sort of got me a little bit emotional is to listen to a fellow African brother to express how disappointed. I actually saw your face dropped, right? When you said you are, as an African, as a Pan-Africanist, and somebody who has been to Nigeria, and situation of Nigeria today breaks your heart to see that Nigeria is tilting towards a total balkanization. That is something to an average Nigerian, which, as you know yourself, we don't give a damn anymore. It's like we have seen enough. It's like we are done. However, to somebody like yourself, looking from both within and from without, okay, and you can see, do you see a chance of this north-south to continue to coexist under this current arrangement? Whatever any solution anybody brings about, right? Do you even see that from your own experience? Because now you can tell, you have actually analyzed these fault lines between the north and the south, and we sort of saw them as blood lines for decades until the last 10 years, like you rightly sort of acknowledged. Last time, 10 years saw Nigeria and Nigerians taken to where a lot of us never envisaged, including the fault lines, the red lines, the north, the south. So 2024 and beyond, with what you know and what you have told us so far, do you see Nigeria exist for another 10 years as the north and the south still? The way things are going. I want to hear that.
I see. I'm not a prophet, okay, but we can look at the data and be able to say this is what we think will happen. I think the fact here is that Nigeria is going to experience a very, very serious trouble. That's very obvious, worse than it is right now. The reason being is that I spoke of the internal forces in Nigeria, and I just mentioned one, which is the let's the ethnic side, which I have not touched. Now, if you look at, let's deal with that first internal problem, which is the religion. I follow one politician in Nigeria in particular who I love before Obi came on the scene. That was Showore, when he said, take it back. When he said revolution now, people didn't understand. Nigeria needs a revolution. And when we say revolution, it's not just people moving on the street or what, a transformation of thinking and transformation of institution. Complete transformation. Now, that transformation, even if you do it the way Showore wanted, you will have to do it twice. You will do one revolution for Nigeria, then you will do another revolution for the North. Anything you do to Nigeria, you have to do it twice in the North before it will succeed. You take your NSAS, for example. When all of you in the South were running around to change the police, did you see the North move?
No.
You think they care? They did not move. They didn't see the North. As soon as you start protesting in Lagos, the Eastern Nigerians start to feel it immediately. They start to protest. When something happened to Mohbad, you see people talking. Watch the social media. When you see people start talking in Western Nigeria, it moves straight to the east, it moves straight to the other part. The North doesn't budge. It does not move. You need 2 times that revolution to bring the North into the picture. And said they are using this population democracy where who vote, the religious extremists in the North will continue to use these uneducated, illiterate people to continue to vote the wrong people in power. For that, they have taken Nigeria hostage. And those of you who want real change for Nigeria, they will isolate you. They will isolate you. They will make sure that you become the enemy of the state. And if you don't take time, they will eliminate you one by one until this pact that they created, South-North, which is a fake pact that they created. You know, Buhari, then after that, Tinubu will rule, then another Yoruba. The truth is, the extremists in the North are looking for elements, religious, Islamic element in the Yoruba ethnic group to use them to destabilize that mighty people who have built empires like Oyo and other places long before anything. But they are looking for some weak elements. Like Tinubu is a weak element. People think he's powerful, but he's a weak element in the Yoruba war. These are the weak elements they want to use to be able to push the Islamic agenda. People have been telling you that Islamic agenda is a lie. No, it's true. I can tell you that I was born a Muslim. My people have been Muslim since the 7th century. I'm a Madinga. And we have been Muslim. There is nobody in my ethnic group who is Christian. All my people have been Muslim. And I studied Islam in northern Nigeria. And I'm telling you, the agenda is to push that country toward Islamic agenda or destroy it completely. So to your question, I will tell you that Nigeria does not have a bright future for now. It doesn't have a bright future for now. The elements that are in the North, and most of them are receiving grants. Some of them, even in university, they are getting grants from this Qatar, and all the extreme Islamic groups are giving them money. And they are building, their power is increasing day by day in the political system. They are even creating billionaires that eventually tomorrow they want to control Western part of Nigeria. The East a little bit stubborn for them. Eastern Nigeria is stubborn. That's why they are isolating them. The isolation of so-called Igbo, it's not because Igbo hate Nigeria. Igbos are the most Nigerian than any Nigerian. They are every part of Nigeria you find them. They have their own problem for sure, like every African group. But the issue, they are not the problem. But they are acting a little bit stubborn to the Islamic agenda. So they have to be isolated. And to do that, you need one of the most powerful groups, which is the Yoruba group. If you don't use Yoruba, you can't succeed. And the Yoruba group is very educated. So what do? You look for the weak one among them, which is the Islamized ones, and play on their religious sentiment. And then you destabilize the country. I can tell you, my friends, you need a revolution, but you need 2 revolutions. If every African country needs 1, Nigeria needs 2.
So guys, you have heard it for yourself. These are not just empty words. They are hard truths. Nigeria's problems are not accidents. They are the result of a system built to keep us divided, distracted, and dependent. Think about it. The same colonial mindset still controls our police, our education, our politics, even our religion. And when you look closely, you will see why the North and South keep pulling in opposite directions. We are not just fighting bad governance. We are fighting a structure that was never designed for us to win. Sekou Kele said it clearly. Africa needs a revolution, but Nigeria needs 2. And those revolutions are not just about guns or protests. They are about the minds of the people. They are about breaking the chains inside before we can break the chains outside. The question now is, are we ready? Are we ready to speak up, to challenge the lies, to stop letting religion and ethnicity be used against us? Are we ready to imagine a Nigeria that truly belongs to Nigerians? Not just the elite, not just the powerful, but every single one of us. I want to hear from you. Do you think the North and South can ever truly be one? Or is it time to admit the truth and find a new way forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have this conversation. And if this message hit you hard, don't just click away. Like this video, share it with at least 3 people you know, And let's keep this discussion alive. Change doesn't start in Abuja. It starts with us, right here, right now. Nigeria will not change because we wish it. It will change because we decide it must.